All right, wrestling fans. Kurt Clape, you're here with highschoolwrestlingmatches.com. Tonight we have another Utah wrestling podcast. I've lost track of which number this is. I think according to wrestlingutah.org, this is number 13. So we'll go with that, episode 13. And this is a Boise State preview show. So sorry, diehard UVU fans. We're going to bring some Boise State action to you tonight and talk about what they've got going. There's still a lot of Utah kids wrestling at Boise State, including one who's, well, not wrestling for Boise State, but one who's training there currently, who's a Utah boy who we'll introduce to you here in a second. But we've got a good show lined up for you tonight. So first off, we're going to introduce you to Levi Jones. Levi, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. Thanks for bringing me on. Appreciate it.
Levi's sitting on the toilet, so don't mind him. Just kidding. He's in a restaurant. Looked like a bathroom stall for a second there. All right, but Levi is a Fargo finalist in high school, as well as a Washington State champ and 3-time finalist. And he was a 3-time D1 NCAA qualifier at Boise State. And just this year was hired on with the new coaching staff as the assistant coach at Boise State. So we invited Levi on to kind of give us a rundown of their lineup and their roster. And then I don't know if this other guy really needs an introduction, but he's a 4-time Utah State champ, a 2-time NCAA All-American, 1-time finalist. Since college, he's won the Pan Am Games twice at 61 kilos in freestyle, and he was a 2-time runner-up at 61 kilos in the U.S. Open. And he's one of the few guys that's still alive to tell about it who has kissed my sister. Andrew, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Sorry to embarrass you like that, Andrew.
Yeah.
But at least she claims that. I don't know. Maybe it's not true. But anyways, we got Andrew on the line, but Levi has a big party to get to. So we're going to start with Levi. Levi, we wanted to, and we got Cole here. Cole, how you doing?
Hi, guys.
Cole's hosting with me tonight, and he'll tune in, or he'll chime in, I should say, when necessary. So Levi, we wanted to ask you a couple questions. First off, you came from Arizona State. Who brought you to Boise?
Yeah, well, actually.
Let me apologize. You wrestled at Boise State, but you were coaching at Arizona State previously, right?
Yeah, so I coached at Arizona State for a year, and then I jumped out, kind of got involved in the business world a little bit, but was still really engaged in wrestling. And, when there was a coaching change at Boise State, an opportunity opened up, and now I'm back with, one of my best teammates, Andrew Hochstrasser, and we're training currently for him to compete at the World Trials, and then, of course, we've got a great group of guys and a solid, character coaching staff as well at Boise State.
So tell us a little bit about this Mendoza, the new head coach. Where did he come from? Yeah,
Coach Mendoza, he comes from Bakersfield, Cal State Bakersfield. I think he was a coach there for 8 years. And he brought his assistant with him, Riley Orozco, who's a bigger guy. Tell you what, both coaches, character, high character coaches. So it's a character first program and no slip up policy. They've definitely tightened the line on a lot of the guys at the program right now, but the culture is starting to change. And so that kind of speaks to what kind of coach he is. But there's no doubt. I mean, this guy, he cares so much about his athletes. I mean, the first thing he mentioned to him was he cares just as much about them in some ways as he does his own family. So he's that kind of guy, and he's running that kind of program.
Andrew, would you have been able to wrestle under Coach Mendoza's new rules and policies?
Yeah, definitely.
Levi, how did you get connected with him? Did you just apply for the job, or did he seek you out because you were a former Boise State guy, or how'd that happen?
Yeah, absolutely. I was knocking on the door as much as possible and seeing if that door would open up, and we saw eye to eye on a lot of things, and we saw a way to fit, the entire coaching staff together, and it just opened up. So
cool. And what weight did you wrestle when you were at Boise State?
I was 141.
41. And Andrew, you were 33, right?
Yep.
So you guys workout?
Oh,
yeah.
Every other day, probably.
every other day. What happened in between?
We had like 2 other 41s and a 25-pounder that we rotated. I was sitting pretty with a lot of partners when I was there, so
Cool.
I had Levi above me, and I had a 25-pounder that was decent that I got to work out with.
Good. That's key, man. Workout partners is a huge part of the game.
Yeah.
So Levi, how are you more involved now than you were at Arizona State, or about the same level?
Yeah, definitely more involved. Involved from a recruiting standpoint, operationally, individually with the athletes. That was my main focus at Arizona State. Was more just that one-on-one with the athletes. But now it's every aspect. It's 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. lately, and it's been a grind. But it's every aspect from recruiting to fundraising to operational to practices and to individual time.
What's your favorite part of being on the college level again?
Oh man, just pouring into these kids' lives. We don't run it like a business. We run it more like a family. And so just having a relationship and with these guys and trying to make an impact on their life, on who they're becoming, not just on the mat, but off the mat as well. So that so far, 2 months in, that's been the most enjoyable part, is to actually, really connect with these guys.
Are you still getting in and banging with them? Do you go live, or what do you do?
Yeah, absolutely. Still going every day. I can still flow pretty well, and I pick my days. I still got to take care of my body. I'm not as young as I used to be, obviously, but my body's not as healthy as it used to be. So, but yeah, no, I'm still going all the time with these guys, and also, with Andrew as he's preparing for the World Trials. So we're scrapping it up as much as possible.
Now, I don't know if I heard you right. Are you also training for the World Trials, or are you just helping Andrew get ready?
No, just helping Andrew. Yeah, just being a workout partner for Andrew, kind of like old times.
Andrew, you got to get down to 61 kilos. What do you sit at about now?
I've been keeping it under 45. Usually I'm around 40, 41 before practice.
So that's in pounds, right?
Yes, in pounds. 41. So 61 kilos is 34 and a half.
Okay.
134 and a half. So I'm within striking distance. I've been within striking distance for a long time.
So you're getting down to basically your college weight again every time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's a lot better than below my college weight. 57 was quite a struggle for me.
Wow. All right, Levi, I'm going to pull up your roster here, and I want you to talk to us about some of these guys.
Yeah, sure. Sounds
some
good.
of the names you Utah fans will recognize. And while I'm pulling up, do you know off the top of your head when we're going to – are you wrestling UVU at UVU, or do we have to come to Boise?
We're wrestling – I think I lost you there.
It's because I'm showing this.
You can show our schedule on there too. But, yeah, we're wrestling UVU. I think it's at Boise State, so I apologize if I don't get that right.
Here, I'll pull it up right now, because that's when we want to make sure we don't miss. UVU, December 12th or December 10th at Utah Valley.
Okay, so yeah, down there in Utah.
You'll have a full crowd of Utah fans anyway.
Yeah.
That's good.
Plus, there's plenty of Utah guys still at Boise, so that'll be fun. All right, let's look at this roster. So I'll put on the screen. You tell us who you see being your top 1 or 2 guys at each weight, if there's more than one at the weight, and talk to us about some of your standouts and guys we should look for.
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, right out of the gates, I can't see your screen, but because I'm on my phone. But
okay,
I can kind of jump through it here with you.
125.
125. We're looking at Carson Kuhn, who's kind of a 25/133 pounder. So really, we're looking at the best fit for him at 133. But we've talked about the options at 125, so we're kind of keeping that open for him. When we jump up to 133, we have a couple options: Josh Newberg, Cook, and also Rami Hadadine. So Rami's one of your Utah boys, and He's going to be in there in the mix. You know, he's 125 last year, but he'll be at 33. And if he's not in the spot at 33, he'll be at 41. That kind of goes for all those guys. So that kind of covers 125 to 141.
So you see Rami being varsity even if Kuhn's at 33? Is that your prediction at this point?
33 is going to be a battle.
Yeah.
We don't, it's for them to decide, I think, right now, because we're not going to choose it, but
for sure.
That's where our bunch up is Rami, Cook, and Haddadine and Newberg. We got 4 guys that are all capable. Whichever guy comes out that day will be the guy.
Now, can any of those guys give a match to Kuhn, or is Kuhn the standout if he stays at 33?
I like Carson. I've been working with him a lot. He's gonna have to work really hard to get that spot. So it's really anybody's. So
is 25 not as deep?
25 is not as deep. We got Will, who's a transfer, and then we have a freshman, Chase, from Washington, and they're both they've got skills. If Carson or whoever wants 25 could probably go down and take it. I think a weight cut is just an issue for those other 4. So we'll see about 25. Will is got some tricks up his sleeve, so he's dangerous. But we'll see.
Cool. How big of a cut is it for Carson? Where is he walking around?
It's not huge. Maybe tops 138 is what his weight is, but
gotcha.
He's a busy guy. He's got a lot of things on his plate, and we want to keep him as healthy as possible. So
yeah, a lot of it's about, for him, it's what's going to be best for his lifestyle and what's going to be best for his body. And, like I said, just kind of taking care of those athletes, for what's best for them is kind of our mentality. And so it kind of puts all that, all those guys in that situation at 133 where, whoever's winning the spot and proving themselves, is going to have a little bit more say.
Awesome. So, Levi, before we let you go, because I know we only got another minute or 2 with you.
Yeah.
We all know Carson, and we're also going to talk a little deeper with Andrew about some of the Utah guys. But is there anybody on the roster, they don't need to be from Utah, but they can be, anyone else that you see as kind of a standout?
Yeah, I mean, 2 guys that, are big standouts for us right now is and these guys are kind of like similar weight classes, actually, so they'll probably do a similar thing to what we did at 33, and that's AJ Fierro and Fred Green. Both these guys are willing to toe the line and really just, wrestle from all positions, even when they get scored on, and just kind of keep bringing that grind. But they're both interested in scoring early and scoring often too. So, and that's part of our, mentality at our program. And those guys, I mean, man, they put in the work and they really put in the extra work too. So
is Fierro a transfer from Bakersfield?
Yeah, he is actually. So and he's a special kid, man. That was a good snag for Boise State.
That is a good snag. Did he have to sit out a year, or is he?
No, he's ready to roll. He got his release, and
awesome.
He's been training hard and ready to roll.
Sweet, that'll be fun. We'll keep an eye on that. Anyone else you want to talk about before we cut you loose?
No, I mean, I'm excited about our Utah connection. I want to keep it alive as much as possible. We got a few kids that, we really got our eyes on right now that we're recruiting. I think for compliance rules, I can't say the names. But there's guys in Utah that they deserve the phone call from Boise State, and they're going to get it. And so I'm excited, and I appreciate the time that you've given me, and excited about the future, for Boise State wrestling and connecting with the Utah guys. So
yeah, dude, we appreciate your time, and I'm giving you a hard time about the UVU thing because we just finally in the last 10 years, how long has it been now since we started it?
Yeah,
it's been
about
it's
about
been
10
over 10. Yeah. Just over.
Over 10 to 15, somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
And so all we had before that was Boise State to cheer for. Now we've got 2 programs we root for. So
Sounds great. Sounds great. And hey, I tell you what, before I take off, Andrew Hochstrasser is one of my old teammates, one of my best buddies, and somebody that, you know, we're training hard right now, and just, you know, Utah, keep your eyes on him. We're planning to come home with a World Trials title and have a world team member from Utah and Boise State.
that'll be fun, man. If anybody can do it, it's Andrew. I've been watching him since, I don't know, 8th grade whenever I first noticed him. And then in 9th grade, he walked through state. And so,
Yep.
yeah, we've been watching him for a long time.
Awesome.
Okay, thanks, Levi. Yep. All right, Andrew, it's your turn.
All right. Let's do it.
Well, before we go into some other stuff I wanted to ask you about with your future, did you want to talk any more about the roster or any of these guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've definitely got work to do, but we got some kids that I think are willing to grind it out, and they might not be polished yet, but they're ready to fight and they're ready to do a lot of work. So just up and down, I think we got some kids that are willing to work hard and do that.
I'm excited. If you had to pick an All-American on the team, give me 2 or 3 names that you think got the best chance.
You know, Carson's been with me for a while. I think he's my pick for an All-American. Like Levi said, Green's interesting. He's got a unique style, and he's actually really dangerous. So I think he'd probably be my second.
And he and this Fierro kid, they're going to be the same weight?
Yeah, I don't know. Right now, Green's a little big. I guess he's certified down there for 57, so we'll see. I think he'd wrestle better at 57. But yeah, I don't know.
How does certification work in college? Is it basically the same idea as high school?
I don't know how they do it in high school, so you tell me. So you pee in a cup. If you're hydrated, you step on the scale, and then they take your weight, and then they do a body fat test, and they put the numbers in, and then you have to be a certain weight with your body fat, and they calculate it out and says if you can go, how low you can go.
It's basically how we do it in high school. You can't drop below 7% body fat. I don't know what college's number is.
I don't know. I'm sure it's 7%.
Gotcha.
I'm sure it's the same. I never had to do it in high school, so.
Did they start that after you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I never did it either, but I was a few years older than you.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Cole, before we move away from this roster, how do you say his name? Rami or Rami? Rami. He was kind of a sleep. If I'm remembering right, wasn't he kind of a sleeper? Like not a lot of guys expected him to win it, and then he either made the finals or won it. I can't remember which.
Yeah, he was
the right guy, tall, skinny guy.
He was a Brighton High grad, I know.
Yeah.
But Rami, he was one of those kids. Yeah, I mean, he. The beauty of the sport of wrestling is you work hard, and you can achieve a lot. And he was a guy. The fall league that's going on right now at UVU is something that we started. Gosh, back I know when Rami was in high school, and he took full advantage of that, and really put in the time in the off season to prepare himself for that high school season. So it may be a surprise to some. I didn't see it as a surprise because I saw his work ethic and I saw his drive, and he's a worker. So that speaks to why he's at the college level and having some success there too.
Did he win it, or was he a runner-up in Utah?
I think he won it. Yeah.
Cool. Well, Hochstrasser, we've kind of talked about a couple of them, but this is what we have as Utah kids: Carson Kuhn, Rami, Josh Anderson, and Zach Kaufman. Is that still the case?
Yep, that's what That's what I got, unless we're missing somebody. But yeah, Rami, just like Cole said, Rami works his butt off, man. He did fantastic last year. Came up a little short at Pac-12s, but he was literally like seconds away from being in the finals, and then lost, and then ended up in a true second, and was seconds away from winning that, and then going to nationals and ended up losing that match. But I like Rob. He listens.
Right. Yeah, you like those athletes.
Yeah.
And he'll be a redshirt senior.
Senior, yep. He's a little banged up right now, so I'm not sure what when he'll be able to wrestle again, but he's fighting through some injury stuff.
Hey, Zach's a guy that hails from Tooele. Your old grounds. Tell us how Zach's doing.
Zach's doing good. I think last year he got kind of thrown into the lineup where he was a 74-pounder, but we needed an 84, so they threw him in, and he just really wasn't ready for the weight difference. But he's been hitting the weights hard. I think he'll be ready for 84s this year if he decides to go up. Yeah, he's the same way. Works really hard, listens. So should be exciting. He wrestles like a smaller guy, so a lot of positions I have to, make sure hey, look, you can't get under that dude like you would a small guy, like he's big. He's going to come down heavy on you. So
it can be to your advantage, though, at times, if you learn.
Yeah, definitely. So. He likes to shoot. He likes to get on the legs, so it makes me happy.
Right on.
Were you involved in recruiting him, being another Tooele kid?
I wasn't. I don't know if me being here just kind of did that, His dad was my junior high coach. I love him to death. They're great guys and great family, so maybe that was it. But
Gary's kind of been the staple of Tooele County.
Oh yeah,
wrestling community there for a while. So yeah, so it's good to see that at the college level and competing, and it'll be fun to watch his progress this year.
Yeah.
And then
we kind of briefly mentioned Carson. Tell us, Carson, I know, is coming off a pretty significant injury. What tell us his status and where he's at?
So his hip surgery was last year, and he kind of struggled through it a little bit, which is why he ended up at 33 and not cutting down to 25. But
he's not walking like Dan Gable, is he?
No, his hip is actually really good.
Good.
But him and I went out to the last chance qualifier for the Olympic trials, and I think he sprained his ankle. I don't know if he rolled it. I can't remember what they called the injury, but so that we've been taking it easy on that and making sure he's 100% before he decides to explode in situations on it. I think he's just he's pretty explosive, way more than I am. So when he explodes, his body isn't, ready for it all the time. So we got to make sure he's strong enough before he starts exploding on it.
Tell us about Anderson. Is he a true freshman or is he a redshirt?
Shoot. I don't know. He came from the Naval Prep.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Good kid. I like him a
Your
lot.
roster says a freshman. Is that accurate, Cole? Do you know?
Yeah, he should be a freshman. Yeah.
So he graduated last year?
Yeah.
How come I can't picture who he is? Is he relation to Ben?
It is. It's Ben's brother.
They're the same age?
No, I'm getting the two mixed up. So
this is Ben's older brother then?
It is. Yeah, Ben graduated last year. He's at Duke.
Yeah.
So Josh, yeah, I don't know where he was at last year, to be honest. So
the roster says a freshman, but he had to have been. Maybe he wasn't anywhere last year. Anyways, we'll look that up, or somebody can text us right at this number 857-240-8516 and tell us where Josh was last year. But that's awesome. So he ended up there, and Ben went to Duke, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead. Cole, did you have any more questions, or did you want to talk about any of that?
Yeah, Andrew, let's talk a little bit about Andrew's international wrestling, kind of what you're doing right now, Andrew, and what your goals and what your plans are for the next year, maybe even 4 years.
So I don't know if I've thought 4 years ahead, but so this year it's just make this world team, try to make this world team and train through it. It's kind of a quick year. It'll be a quick turnaround after, because we'll go right into a regular kind of season, see if I can get overseas a time or two, and then go right into a U.S. Open in April, I think. I haven't looked at the schedule lately, but just a regular schedule, Open in Vegas, and then another World Team Trials after that. So as far as that, my training and stuff, that's the goal, is keep training.
Andrew, you one of the things I remember you for is you were an amazing mat wrestler as a folk style wrestler, both on top, well, and really on top you were a hammer. Tell us about
it's because he scrambled like crazy, man. He was funky.
Yeah. And tell us about the transition to, from being a hammer on top in folk style wrestling to international wrestling.
It's different, and it's kind of sad. I've thought about it as us as USA on a freestyle level, and I think we're behind because we wrestle collegiate. But I had so much fun in collegiate, I would never give it up. So it's hard because we have to play catch up now, but it's different, and you can still be a hammer on top in freestyle, but it's definitely you got to figure out the tricks and stuff that you usually do in collegiate. You just got to figure out what works in freestyle. So for me, it's taken a little bit longer, and I definitely have to work on my feet a lot because it wasn't my strength. But it's still fun. I get to work on top, and I get, me and Levi worked this morning, some top bottom stuff, mostly top, and it's fun. You get to be creative again and kind of learn it over. So I've worked with a lot of foreigners. We've had a Bulgarian coach up here for a while, and geez, they're so sneaky. So it's been a lot of fun.
You talk about Yvonne, or is there another guy that I don't know?
Yeah. Well, we have two Yvonnes. So
they're both there.
Freestyle Yvonne and Greco Yvonne, and I've been working with Freestyle Yvonne for the past years.
I didn't ever know him, but I knew Greco Yvonne.
Yeah. No, they're both sneaky. Just depends on what you're wrestling.
They're both sneaky.
Yeah.
That's right. A lot of I don't know if a lot are, but some of the Boise State guys are working for Greco Yvonne, aren't they, with his Supway deal?
Carson was working with him over the summer. I don't know if any other guys are. They have in the past, and I think that was the Greco thing that Russell Brunson was doing with that. But they're no longer doing that. So yeah, he hired me my first year out of college too. So I worked in the warehouse for a while, answering phone calls and stuff. So it's been good. It's been good for us.
So have you been at Boise State since you graduated, basically? Is that where you've been training? Is that where you've called home?
Yeah. Yep. This is where I've been living.
This is a chance for you to plug Boise State a little bit to some of these Utah kids that are looking for a place to wrestle college. Why did you decide to stick around there even after college?
I love it here. There's a lot to do. Utah has some good outdoor stuff, and I think, Idaho matches all of it. So if you're into that, it's real easy to get involved up here. It doesn't snow quite as harshly as it does like in Salt Lake. So it's a little bit, I guess, if you like it, but it's nicer, it doesn't get as cold or as snowy. But it's awesome, super sunny, tons of summer activities, things to do so you're not in trouble. And I don't know, it's just been great. For me also, coach, my coach was a real big deal for me, and he had been here with me. So I just decided if I was going to train, then I was going to train with him. So
who are you training with for this upcoming World Championship? You're training with Levi. What other sparring partners have you got?
I trained with Carson and Cook, and I actually trained with Mendoza a couple times. I'm just picking everybody now. It's kind of at that.
Does Mendoza still spar?
Yeah, he actually does.
Cool.
Yeah, it's good. So I think 49 is the biggest I've gone to recently, but I just pick everybody out and just work on. Everybody's got their different strengths, so I'll just use their strengths and make sure that I can defend everybody's strengths and figure out how to score on them. So
sorry, what?
No, it's just been good for me.
I was going to ask you to walk us through your your next year. So how often are you training, and then what are the big tournaments that we need to watch you at before and leading up to a world team membership?
Okay. So this year's is the world team. There's one right coming up quick at the Bill Farrell. It's November 10th. I think I'm wrestling on the 10th.
And this is a qualifier for the trials?
No, this is trials. The trials for 61 and 70 kilo.
How come I thought the trials were in like April?
They are, well, normally they're in like June. But so those two weight classes weren't at the Olympics. So they're having like a world, they can't call it Olympics, so they're having a world team or a world championship for those two weight classes.
Oh, okay. So you have to
do like a half year kind of thing.
So when is the world championship for those?
December 10th.
I didn't know that.
Those weight classes were not in the Olympics. So they're doing a world championship here in the next few months for those weight classes. And then the world championships for all weight classes will be again then in August?
September 2017.
Yep.
Right on.
I didn't know they did that. Did you know that, Cole?
No, I had no idea. Is this a thing, Andrew?
Yeah, this is the first time they've done it because this is the first time they've cut the weight classes out.
Right. Oh, really? In the 2012 Olympics, we had 8 weights?
Yeah, because Coleman Scott took bronze.
Oh.
I guess he's silver medalist now. But
I didn't make that connection. That's crazy. I mean, I knew he took bronze, but I didn't pay attention to the weights.
Yeah.
So can guys who I'm messing up my question. Can guys who wrestled or competed at a different weight compete for this?
They can, but not the Olympians. So Daniel Dennis can't go up to 61.
Okay.
And Molinaro can't come down to 6. Or, does that make sense?
Yeah, but Green, who got beat out, he can go to his world bronze weight and everything.
Yes.
Cool. So there'll be some good wrestlers in that.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be heavy stacked.
Yeah. So right, basically everybody who in that weight class above or that weight class below is going to come together in that one weight class. Is that about what it is?
Yep.
Wow.
That's what's going to be. I think minus a few I think all of 57 is going to go up, minus a few maybe small guys. Obi Blanc is a little bit smaller, and what's his name from Minnesota? Zach Sanders is a little bit smaller, so I don't really see them going up. They might be there, but I don't see them going up, honestly. So it's going to be big brackets, I think.
Do you see Pico being there?
At 70.
Really?
Yeah.
Wasn't he at? Wait, what was Molinaro's? What was Molinaro's weight?
65 kilo.
60. Okay. Gotcha.
I
don't know. I don't know if he's wrestling or not.
Andrew, you've been all over the world. You've been all over the country. Talk about the Idaho, the Utah, this Intermountain area, and the level of wrestling and the quality of wrestling as compared to what you've seen out there.
It's really good, you know. Yeah, I've been as far away as Azerbaijan and Turkey, and um, we got good quality. Not to bash on Idaho, but I think we're a little behind in Idaho, but uh, they've got some things lined up. But we definitely have real quality wrestling and real quality coaches. You know, it's a good situation for us. We've got tons of mats and tons of tournaments and you know, the ease to get to these places. Like we need,
So all you
if you
need
want
is
to be
the mat.
yeah. Well, there's some places I didn't even want to get on there, Matt, because it was pretty gross. But you know, we got good situation, and we got good, you know, kids taking advantage of it. They can do whatever they want to do. You know, I think back to when I was in high school, and if someone would have told me like you're gonna go to Belarus, I'd be like, where's Belarus? You know, why would I go there? But you know, it's there. If you want it, you can go get it.
You mentioned that there's places wouldn't even want to get on the mats. What's the grodiest place you've wrestled? What's the funkiest place you've wrestled with these international competitions?
So I just outside, I thought Paris was gross on the streets. The mats were fine, but I don't know if it's just where they put us, but it's just a little dirty in Turkey. They
Yeah.
kind of put us in a grungy gym and stuff. So.
Before we sign off, Andrew, tell us one, like, you choose the story. I'll let you think about it for a second. Either a really cool story from your international competitions that most of us wouldn't know about because we weren't able to be there or see all the behind the scenes stuff, or some crazy, funky story, a scary situation, something. So, pick a cool experience you've had. As a cool or crazy experience. Tell us about it.
Oh man, I don't know.
I'll give you while you're thinking about that. I'll kind of mention a couple things just so you guys, Utah wrestling world out there knows. Andrew's parents still live in Tooele, right, Andrew?
Yep.
And his dad does quite a bit of officiating in the Utah ranks. So he does a lot of folk style high school wrestling. So you know, it's good. It's good to see, you know, the Hochstrasser family still involved in the sport in Utah, even though we've kind of lost Andrew to Idaho, but we still consider you a Utah boy. And, you know, it's good to have the Hochstrassers in town whenever possible.
Yeah. So what was one of your funnest memories from the international competitions?
I had a really good time 2 years ago when I went to France with Chamberlain. Chamberlain and I went to France, another Utah. But him and I were the only ones cutting weight on that whole trip, and I couldn't believe it. So we had to go to a gym, and Zeke Jones called the bus driver and got us a ride, and the bus showed up, and it was like a usual bus, like a charter bus, like, you know, 100 people should be on it. And it pulled up. Jason and I got on it, and we were the only ones on the bus, and he drove us to a gym, which I don't know how far away it was. It took forever. We worked out at the gym, and the guy just circled the block until we were done, took us back to the hotel. So it was a good time. Him and I cut a lot of weight on that trip together, but I just thought it was funny that they got a huge bus just for us. We were rolling big.
Yeah, probably was safer than a taxi, huh?
I don't know. It was Zeke Jones got it done for us. He said, "You need a ride, we'll get you a ride."
That's funny.
Well, I don't know if you know this, Andrew, but my oldest boy's name is Zeke, and I named him after Zeke Jones. He was one of my, growing up, you know, a high school kid. He was one of my heroes. So that's cool. Yeah.
No, it was good. I like Zeke. I don't like competing against him, but when you're under him, he's 100% for you, spend the money, Mongolian throw your shirt off style. He's a great guy,
is that an official term now in
I
the
guess.
wrestling world?
Did you buy the T-shirt that says "Wrestle like a champion and protest like a Mongolian"?
I haven't bought it yet. I'm going to. I'm just waiting for my check to go through, and I'm gonna buy them.
I should have those too.
That's how you gauge how loyal your coach is to you.
Yeah.
He's somewhere between who's like a super mellow coach that's like the exact opposite. So who's like the mellowest coach you can think of, any level of wrestling?
Mellow?
Either of you, Cole or Andrew?
You're asking me, Kurt? Oh.
Anybody. Any level of wrestling, who's like the most mellow coach?
Brock Moore's a pretty mellow guy. Brock I don't see Brock get after officials hardly ever. So his attitude, and I know his philosophy is you've got to wrestle a match like you started out the match down 2-0, because those 2 points are the officials' points, and you just anticipate they're going to screw you. So,
so we should start a coach grading scale on a scale of Brockmore to whatever the Mongolian coach's name is.
Cole Kelly.
So Cole Kelly. Hey, I just got a text from I don't know who, but
I think that's Levi in that group. So
I either read the website wrong or it's wrong on Boise State's website. I'm not sure which. But the Utah Valley Duel on the 10th of December is at Boise State. So I guess we're coming to see you.
I went down there last year.
Yeah. So I guess we're coming to see you.
Yeah.
Well, Andrew, thanks for being on tonight.
Appreciate it.
Cole, before we go, you got any last minute things you need to say or ask Andrew?
I always had a great admiration for Andrew and his style of wrestling and just his work ethic, and it's great to see. Just know that we lay claim to you, Andrew, and that we're going to refer to you as a Utah boy forever and ever. So I don't care how long you stay in Idaho, we're you're a Utah boy.
Yeah, good. Thank you. I appreciate it a lot.
Andrew, you were always known for your funk in college and high school. Have you been able to still utilize that funk in freestyle? Have you been able to make it your own, or have you totally had to change your style?
I've picked up some few things. I've made some mistakes that I think cost me, but I got some stuff going on, I think.
In other words, are you still able to do your crazy stuff and not expose your back?
Yeah, it's different now, but I think I still got it. It's my style, just because the point system changes or whatever, it doesn't. The moves might change, but they're still going to be maybe a little unorthodox. So,
well, you're obviously making something work for you because you've won 2 Pan Am games, and you were the number 1 guy for 2, 3. How many years was it? 2 or 3 years at least, right?
Yeah, 2 years.
So, good luck, man. Good luck. When's the November trial again? Or when is the state trial?
I wrestle the 10th.
The 10th of October?
November.
So November 10th, and then if you make the team in December,
Yep.
Where's it at?
I think it's Hungary.
Okay.
But I'm not certain.
Okay, well, you better find out because you need a ticket there.
Yeah, well, they'll pick it up for me. So.
Okay. You don't have to worry about that. All right, Andrew, thanks. Cole, thanks.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. And we have an awesome show next week for you. We want to make sure you guys get on live for this one so you can ask questions. Cole, what do we got in store next week?
You're fooling me. I don't know.
I'm putting you on the spot, and you don't even know.
You did, and I don't.
It's the live rankings show.
Oh, that's
okay.
Right.
Our most popular show to date is the one where Jeff revealed his top 10 incoming freshmen and the honorable mentions. This is going to be a top 25 overall, plus the youth big board. What's the youth big board, Kelly?
So the super rankings is the top 25 high school wrestlers, and then the youth big board is junior high age kids. So they do a top 25 in junior high age kids, and if you're if you're in, you know, they look at middle school and junior high for the most part for that age, for that big board, so youth big board. But yeah, they're two ranking systems for high school and junior high, middle school age kids.
Okay, so make sure you tune in next week at 8 o'clock at highschoolwrestlingmatches.com. We will cover the top 25 middle school, so that'd be 5th to 8th grade about, right? Or 6th to 8th grade? The youth one?
Yeah, the youth one would be probably about 4th grade to 8th grade, I'd say.
Okay. So 4th graders to 8th graders will give you the top 25, and power rankings means it's everybody, right?
Nope, it doesn't matter what classification. Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what weight?
Nope.
Okay. And then we'll give you the high school power rankings as well, top 25 across the board. And so tune in next week, and we'll have that for you. And everybody make a trip to Boise State to see Utah Valley wrestle Boise State in December. And Hochstrasser, good luck, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Cole.
Thanks for your time, Andrew.
And we are out of here.
Bye-bye.